Welcome back on this channel. In this video, we're gonna talk about why is it that your visualization are not working or not creating the result that you want. And this actually comes from one of your questions. And the question goes something like this. I've been applying various tools and techniques over the past few months to change a couple of things in my life, mostly around money and success. And it's been a couple of months, and even though I've noticed some changes, I am yet to see big progress, the big progress that I aspire to. And honestly, I am starting to lose faith. I'm wondering, why is it that it's not working for me? Am I doing something wrong? What should I do? Any pointers would be helpful. So this is something that I notice often, right? Is that when people apply different tools and so on, and first of all, good on you for sticking a couple of months to doing these kind of things, they may be not getting straight away the result that they want. And because of that, they start to invite doubt, insecurities in their mind. And all of this starts to affect their confidence into the process, into what they're doing. And just like it's written, it's been saying like, I don't know, this doesn't work for me, and then people give up. So in this video, I'm gonna give you 3 reasons why this might be happening and what you can do instead. So if you find yourself in a similar situation where you've been applying certain things in your life and you're not getting the big result that you want, it might come from one of those 3 reasons. So make sure you stick to the end so that you can apply also the couple of tips I'm gonna be sharing toward the end of this video. All right, guys? So the first thing I wanna point out is this. Visualization works, okay? Whether you call it mental rehearsal, imagination, whatever the label you might use for this, it's working. We know this beyond any doubt because science, studies, research have proved it over and over and over and over again, okay? So if you have any form of doubt about the credibility, about the usefulness, about the possible impact of those tools, of using your imagination, using your visualization to create positive change in your life, make sure to release any form of doubt, any form of limiting belief, any form of insecurity. Because if you have doubts in the process itself, that alone can sabotage your result. Okay, so make sure that is not the case. But it brings me to really the second reason, which I think is the biggest one here. And the second reason is this. You don't believe it. What do I mean by that? Okay, for example, I know that when working with clients and things of this matter, everybody's trying to go from here to there, wherever that is, right? That situation in their life, or having certain things different in their life. What happens is that when here from there, when there is like seemingly a massive gap or a big, leap from here to there, it can be like, well, I'm visualizing, I'm manifesting, I'm affirming, I'm doing whatever you may be doing, but this seems unattainable. This seems so far, so distant. It feels like hope. It feels like a dream. It feels like something distant that is not true to me right now. Does that make sense? So there is so much gap. There is so much of a leap. There's so much distance in your mind toward that thing or that place where you want to be in your life that you're not believing what you're really seeing. So that is to say that you are struggling to see yourself being the person that you want, or having the things that you want, or doing the things that you want. And chances are that the situation you're in has a lot of momentum into it, a lot of momentum that are keeping you stuck in here, in where you are now. Because what happens is that the gap is so big that here is the desired situation, but because everything, when you open your eyes and you go to your life, everything keeps on reminding you of where you are, right? Maybe you see your bank account or your boss or whatever it may be, right? So everything reminds you that you're not there, you're still here. And because of this, you keep on thinking and feeling in the old ways. And so you're kind of perpetuating that old state of being. And then here's what can happen. What happens is that you start to have thoughts that comes in your mind. Thoughts like, nothing's changing for me. This doesn't work. I don't get it. What do I need to do? Why am I not manifesting what I want? You have this kind of innocent, thoughts in the back of your mind. But those type of limiting thoughts, when you think like, oh, it's not changing, nothing is changing in my life, why is it not changing, things are the same. When you have that kind of thoughts, you are giving a big counter intention to the life that you're trying to create. And it is big. Why? Because you believe in that thought. Because that thought feels true for you. It is true for you. It is so anchored in your current situation that when you think that thought, even if it's at the back of your mind, that thought resonates with being true. So on one hand, you're like visualizing this. On the other hand, you affirm or you think constantly, why is it not working? I don't see it changing. Why is this? Those type of thoughts are coming to the surface. So this is kind of really pushing against what you want. So you're giving conflicting intention to your life through your subconscious mind. And because your dominant belief always will win, if you believe more that things are not changing or that it's not working or that whatever the thought may be, right? This is just an example, but whatever the thought of the doubt may be, that will win, and you will find more evidence to support that it's not working, because then the mind starts to look for those evidence. Then it's the confirmation bias. Then you start to imagine situation of things staying the same way and not getting what you want. So even though you're doing those tools and techniques and you're visualizing, which is great, if you don't exercise your self-awareness to catch yourself in those blind spots, in your shadow, in those beliefs that are deeply anchored in your subconscious mind, that are coming out, that are being shown to you in the way you feel, in the way you think, in your current situation, as long as those remain big and as those remain strong and constantly there in your state of consciousness, you are going to get mixed results in your life. So those are one of the 3 reasons that I think you may be falling into. Right? There might be other reasons, of course, but I strongly invite you to reflect in those 3 reasons. Now, the question is like, how do I make it work for me, right? If I've been doing those things, then how do I bridge the gap from here to there? Well, the first thing I want you to tell you is that keep on doing it. Okay? That is a given. Do not stop, because what's the alternative? To stay where you are? No, you have to keep on exercising, using those tools, applying it, and then in between, throughout the day, this is where you have to exercise more self-awareness. Self-awareness is often the name of the game. It's just becoming aware of the thoughts that have been, that I talked about earlier, or some of the beliefs, or some of the emotions that are bringing you in frustration, in self-pity, in resentment, in anger, or in fear, or whatever it may be, because those are showing you where your state of consciousness truly reside. And if you keep on anchoring yourself in those state of consciousness, in those perception, in those limiting beliefs that are not the truth, without challenging them, without breaking them, without tearing them down, you will keep on perpetuating them, because we live what we believe, right? So life is great because as you start to declare your intention to life, often what's going to happen, not always, but often what happens is that life brings you opportunity to stir up your shit. And that means that you get triggered, right? There's things that happen in your life that just trigger certain emotion, that trigger certain thought, that trigger certain pattern. And that is the gift where now you can start to observe. Oh, let me see, why did I react this way? Let me see, why do I think this way? Let me see why this is happening again. So that you can start to become aware of what is the belief, what is the thought, what is the core emotion behind this pattern. And awareness, as you shed light on your shadow, you start to dissolve it. This is where the big win is, because it's those patterns that anchors us in our past identity, in our past reality. So self-awareness is as simple as just paying attention when you overly get triggered emotionally, or when you go into that negative loop. What is the story I'm telling again? Do I feel victimized again? Right? Why do I keep anchoring myself in this type of thoughts? What would be a better thought? Is this belief true? What else could I learn about this? How can I do things differently? How can I think differently? What is a better truth or perception about this situation? And as you do that constantly, you're peeling layers of that onion, and you come down to a bigger truth about yourself, about your life, about your situation. And this is where the true change happens. When you start to let go of all those thoughts and beliefs and ideas that you had, you can now create more path, that vision, that version of your life. And finally, the last word of advice is also to take action, right? Often, what I see in my clients is that they might be doing all those things as well, but they're not taking that action that they know they need to take, simply because they're afraid, simply because they feel embarrassed, simply because something is holding them back. And what is holding them back is, again, what I just talked about, that old thought, that old fear, that old belief. So as you take that action, you claim your power and you free yourself from those beliefs and those fears. Remember what Ralph Waldo Emerson said: do the thing and you will have the power. Stop waiting for the power. When the opportunity arises, when you feel aligned, when you feel inspired, do it and you will have the power and you will break the pattern. So I hope this video helps you and inspire you guys. As always, let me know what you think down in the comment. If you have any questions, you can write them down in a comment or send them to me on my Instagram channel. As always, thank you for watching this video. If you like it, like, share, and make sure to hit that subscribe button so that you can see every single one of those videos. I will see you next time. Be well.